Tainted Love of a Narcissist back again. So, what I wanted to talk about is how the narcissist will control the energy when you're in a conversation with someone. And what I mean by this is I've heard about this and I've also witnessed it. And what that is so if you know anything about narcissistic abuse and what narcissists do to other people, not just in romantic relationships, but family relationships as well. They will, if they feel like inferior to you, which a lot of them do have that complex where they think that they're better than you, but there's things that you do that are just come naturally to you that will make them feel inferior to you. And they have to do something about it. So if you are really good at having conversations with people and you interact well with others, and say you're close with your children and you're trying to have a conversation with your children and, something about it bothers them. So after a while, they will say they're having a conversation with one of your kids, and you come up and you say, you start talking. I mean, you put yourself into the conversation, which, okay, to some people, if you do that all the time and you don't let the other person speak to your children and without you interrupting, I could see where they get irritated with that. Anyone would. But when they are having a conversation and you interject yourself into that conversation and just, you should be allowed to have that be part of that conversation too, if you'd like, as long as you're not doing it all the time where they can never have a conversation. They don't like it when you do that because they know that you're smarter than them. They know that you are better in certain ways, and that bothers them. So you're going to start to feel like energetically you're being shoved to the side. They're not, the covert ones, the really covert narcissists are never going to say to you, you need to stay out of this conversation. This is our conversation. This has nothing to do with you. No, they're going to make comments about it. And when, if somebody else makes a comment about you coming into the conversation and just adding, your 2 cents, or not even rudely, just, you're human. You get to be part of the conversation. This is your child. This is your home. And the kids are talking and you want to say something to them and talk to them. That should be totally fine. But to them, it's not okay. Like, they will find things to have a problem with. Okay. So anyways, kids are having a conversation. You come up, you want to have a conversation. The kids and the spouse are having a conversation and you want to be part of the conversation. You're going to be looked at like you're trying to invade the conversation, when really it's their insecurities and their inferiority complex that they have. I mean, it's like a dual complex. Like, they feel inferior to you and superior to you all the time. Like, like I said before, you are damned if you do and damned if you don't with these people. But they will make you feel like you don't belong in this conversation, even if it's not even their conversation. Even if they're just sitting there somewhere, like at the kitchen table, and the kids are sitting at the bar, say you have a bar in your kitchen, and the kids are sitting there having a conversation, and you come from the living room and you say something to the kids and start interacting with them, they're going to see that as you trying to interrupt the kids' conversation. So later on, when, something is said to the kids say that, you said this or that, or come up or whatever, or they complain about you coming into the conversation, they're going to roll with that. And they're going to say, yeah, she always does that. She always tries to interject herself into other people's conversations. She never just lets you guys talk. And why does she think she needs to talk to you guys all the time? Like, you are going to be cast aside, pushed to the side. You didn't do anything wrong. All you did was try to join in on a conversation that you should be allowed to do that. Whatever the situation is, you should be allowed to say what you want to say. Nobody's saying that you are constantly interrupting their conversation and making it so that they can't talk. No one's saying that at all. No, and that's not the case. That's not how it is. I have witnessed it myself. I was having a conversation with my daughter one time, and the ex like, not interjected himself into the conversation, but I was having the conversation with her and he was involved in it as well. And because I was upset with something about the conversation, or, well, not about the conversation. I was upset. The conversation was a conflict-filled conversation. I kind of got pushed to the side. Like, okay, now we're having this conversation. I don't want to hear what you have to say. Like, whatever it was, me being involved in it was not allowed. So you get pushed to the side, and now the spouse and the child is going to have this conversation and you don't get to be involved in it. And I'm not saying it's not saying that you were yelling at the kid or you were doing this or it was this out of control conversation. No, it doesn't have to be that. It is not that anyways. It is because you are asserting your opinion and your feelings about whatever the subject matter was, and you are involved in the conversation. But because they want to swoop in and play the hero and play the good guy to this child and undermine you, that's how they're going to do it. They're going to push you to the side energetically. I'm not saying that they will physically push you to the side. Energetically, you're going to be over here because they're going to make you feel like you're in the wrong. No matter what it is, no matter what you're saying, no matter what's going on, you're in the wrong. So you almost can feel like there's this wall getting put up between you and the spouse and the other person that's involved in that conversation. I've seen it. I've heard stories about it. And I also had it happen to me. But the narcissistic ex, my narcissistic ex, talked about it, about his ex-wife and how she would try to have conversations with the kids when the kids were in the kitchen. And he just made it seem like, oh, she doesn't need to be involved in that. Like, how dare she try to have a conversation with the kids? This woman is just trying to belong and talk to the kids. She's there with them all the time. She was home more than he ever was. And I know that from his own mouth. She was there with the kids more than he was. So why can't she talk to them? I don't get it. I didn't get it then, and I don't get it now. And I get it. What I do get of it is because I was involved in it. But anyway, so he would just make whoever he didn't want involved in it energetically uncomfortable. So they would remove themselves. Like, you can just tell, like, if you want to talk to somebody in a group or something, or a couple of people, and the energy is like you're invading, you kind of just remove yourself because you just feel it. Energy is a big deal. You will feel it, and you will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like, God, what did I do? You'll start questioning yourself, of course, because that's what they do. They're professionals at it, making you question yourself like it's all you. That's just how they roll. And then they're going to talk to the kids about it afterwards and say, you know, God, she won't ever just let you have a conversation, or she's this or she's that, to undermine you some more. And now the kids are aware of it and notice it. So every time you do try to talk to them, oh, you're just trying to, you know, get involved in their conversation. And then you start to feel like the outcast. Even when your narcissistic ex isn't around, you're still feeling it. You know, it's great. They do that with your friends as well. They do it with your friends. They do it with your family. The children are good because, you know, kids want to have, you know, some sort of say in things. And when you have someone that is telling them what's what, like the mom and the mom role, telling them what's what and telling them what they think, you know, and they always want to make it seem like, oh yeah, she's so hard on the kids. She's doing this, she's doing that. Or they always want to make you, like, if you're a guy and you're going through it with a narcissistic woman, they want to make it seem like you're just this hard ass dad and you're always on the kids and you're always doing this. And no, it's not. No, it's not. You are laying down the law when you need to. You're trying to have a normal conversation with your kids. And here's this, you know, insecure, fragile individual who feels inferior to you and wants to make themselves superior to you. So they use children in a manner to make you feel that way as part of the tactic, as part of the tear you down and make you doubt yourself and make you feel like you don't have the right to speak your own mind. No, these are my children. These are not children that him and I share. These are my children. And he's doing this. I can only imagine what he went through, or what, his kids and his previous spouses went through dealing with this kind of behavior. Because like I said, I had seen it, heard about it, and felt it myself and experienced it myself. So it's not something I'm pulling out of my ass and just imagining. Something that I really did, people go through. And it's on a higher scale. It's on a lower scale. It's on different situations, whatever. But they will energetically block you off and push you to the side. And it's all to just stroke their ego. So, yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good night. I went to Big B and got some coffee, so I'm a little bit like, but I love Big B. Big B is so good. If you don't live in the Midwest area, you don't know what a Big B is, but it's like Dunkin' Donuts, kind of. They don't have a bunch of donuts or anything, but they do serve donut holes and stuff like that. So if you ever visit the Midwest area, look for Big B's. They have some really good coffee. My favorite is frozen mocha. It's delish. But anyway, I'm not trying to plug or anything. I don't, whatever. But coffee. Probably shouldn't have got coffee at 8:30 at night, but whatever. So again, I hope you guys are having a good night. And if you ever felt like you were being pushed out of conversations and made to feel like you're just the rude, interrupter. And no, you're not. You weren't imagining that. They really do that. So, but anyways, I hope you guys are having a good night and you're working on your healing and getting better every day. And I just want to encourage you again, like always, to just keep going.